Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tony and this is TC's Outdoors. And if you see in the truck, we've got 12 bundles. I talked to my brother today and his stand, he said it could use 10, so I'm gonna bring 12. There's room for a couple extra down there. Today's July 17th and we're gonna restock it. So kind of want to talk to you guys about how that stand's been performing versus my other one, and just bundle business in general. So stick around and we'll get in the truck and we'll get headed down there. So here we go. I put my second roadside stand down at my brother's house. This year was the first year it's been down there. This is only my second year in the firewood business, so but I thought I'd take the opportunity quick. I've had some questions kind of about fire starters and about sales and just things like that. So the stand down at my brother's house has been performing better than I kind of ever anticipated it would, and you'll see the location when we get there. But when I say it's, you know, kind of near a campground, it's kind of really near a campground. So but so far year to date, today is July 17th, and I've sold 30 more bundles to date than I did all of last year, starting in April all the way to December. So the second stand has definitely been a big contributor to that. So fire starters have gone pretty well, both at the stand and in my delivery. So I've made 3 deliveries other than just loading up the roadside stand. So I've sold 2 of the racks that my homeowners racks. I showed that in a video. I can throw a link up if you guys want to check out that video, kind of my homeowner rack idea that I had. And that's done okay. I haven't really marketed it that much because I didn't have an abundance of seasoned firewood, so I didn't want to kind of oversell what I could what I could keep up with. So either way, I sold 2 of those so far, and then I had one person call me and bought the Baker's Dozen bundle deal, the 13 bundles with 1 fire starter included. So including that fire starter and then the one I gave away with the first rack that I sold, I've sold 14 bags of the fire starters that Natalie and I made, and honestly those are doing pretty well. I think the 10 for a dozen seems to be a pretty good price point. Seems to be working out pretty well. So Natalie comes along and she scoots the bundles to the tailgate for me, which saves me from climbing in and out of the truck, which is awesome, super helpful. So here we are, we're at the roadside stand location number 2, and like I told you guys, it's pretty close to a campground. That's the campground right there. So firewood, campground, it was kind of a home run. I'm not sure why I didn't think about this sooner, but I'm glad I did. Either way, we're gonna get these bundles unloaded. I'll get the stand filled up. Okay, so that is the stand and it's all filled up. So if we can get a better view here. So the stand's full, and the only upgrade I've made since it was in the garage is this light here. So that's like a dusk till dawn light, and the solar panel is kind of external. I can throw a link in the description if you guys are interested in something like that, but I wanted to keep the light underneath. I don't want it shining at cars as they drive by, so that was a pretty good solution. It's worked out pretty well. We were getting some theft in the beginning, and I think that kind of deters people. People were walking over at night from the campground and just grabbing a bundle and not paying. So at my house, I've never had anything stolen, and down here I think I've lost 4 or 5 bundles now. So people are a little less honest apparently at campgrounds than they are when they're your neighbors, but I guess that kind of makes sense. Unfortunate though. All right guys, so we are back at the house, and just quick, wanted to give you an update on the bundle inventory. So I have 7 bundles left out of all those bundles you guys saw me make earlier in the year, and all that wood that I've resplit and then been cutting down, that's all I've got left, 7 bundles. So pretty cool. And now I got to get into my regular inventory. But also right there, you see the black case from Taranzi. That was 2 videos ago, and if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. I'll throw a link up. But I decided to put my money where my mouth is, and I bought one of those saws. It was too good of a deal to pass up, and I bought it to give away. So that is going to be part of my 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So first off, if you're already subscribed, thank you, I really appreciate it. And if you're not, maybe hit that sub button and you could be entered to win at some point. I think I'm at 1,600 and some change right now, so I got a little room to grow yet. But once I get there, I'm going to give that little saw away and probably a couple more hats. So that's the plan anyhow. But here we are over at the boiler. I want to give you another little update over here. So see these two pallets. I did not get any footage of this, but I probably should have. It would have been fun for you. It wasn't very much fun for me, but my son and I dug a couple of holes. I'm going to pour some sono tubes, and that's where my anchors are going to be for the posts for this end of the woodshed. So I'm going to start a woodshed build video series. I don't know if I'm going to put it all in one video or not. Probably, we'll see. But either way, I don't like to veer too far away from the firewood. I try to stay in my lane as far as YouTube's concerned, because every time I do something different, it doesn't seem to perform very well. And I don't know, that's the algorithm or whatever. But either way, that's a little update that what's going on over there. So like I said, yeah, we rented a 2-man post hole digger, and those 2 holes took my son and I an hour and a half, and it was blistering hot out here. Bunch of big rocks and some operator error along with the learning curve. There's the doodle crew. I don't know where she went. She's gone. Yep, she's over there. She's got a piece of wood. She's a wood hound. Well, either way, I had a question on the last video, asked me for a garden update, which I think is awesome that you guys care about what's going on here at the TC's Outdoors compound. So I'm going to give you a garden update real quick. So the cucumbers are growing. This hot weather we've had, they are ripping right up the trellis. A little bit of work to train them, but once they get going, it's awesome. Last year, towards the end of the year, they were up all the way over the other side. It was probably the best year I've ever had. Tomatoes are looking good. So the way I support my tomatoes is Florida weave, and I don't know what you can see. And I need to get out here because you want to be supported, you know, every 4 inches or so, and that's about a foot over the top of the last rope, or it's hemp twine is what it is. So I got to get out here and do that. It's hard to find time for all this stuff, guys, but they're really doing well too. These are just like the table tomatoes, and then the canning tomatoes are down at the other end. The only thing that hasn't done real well is the bell peppers. For whatever reason, we planted those, and I don't know if it was some kind of shock or what the deal was, but they just didn't grow. And they looked like they were all going to die at one point. A couple of them took life. They're starting to go. Luckily, that's one of the longer, you know, crop seasons, so that'll go until the frost. So we'd probably be able to harvest something off of those, I hope so. And then cherry tomatoes right here posted up on the stakes, and they are doing really well. No fruit yet, just plant growth. Oh, a little bit in there. So that's, and then this is Roma's right here, and I also I need to get out here and get some stuff done, but probably won't be today. Maybe tonight after the soccer game. So we have soccer tonight. My daughter has a soccer game. Zucchini and squash looking good. And so I bet I put a dozen, maybe even more, a dozen seeds or so. I had 4 mounds in there, and only 2 plants germinated out of all those. I'd say those seeds are garbage, but they're old. They're like 3 years old. I've had them in the freezer. These down here underneath all of the zucchini leaves are watermelon, and I'm going to try. This is my first year growing watermelon up a trellis. Not sure how that's going to go, but I've seen other guys do it on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure I could pull it off. I don't know. We'll see, but I'll bring you guys along. They support it with pantyhose. They support, once the fruit starts, they support the fruit with pantyhose. Just tie it off to the trellis, like, you know, the uprights of the cattle panel, and apparently it works, so we'll find out together. The peas are looking good. They're shooting up the trellis like I would hope, and yeah, it's been good. So my favorite part, the most successful part of the garden this year for me is right here. That is my asparagus bed, which may not look like much, but if you guys have ever grown asparagus, you know what kind of labor of love asparagus really is. You plant it, and then you have to watch it and nurture it and take care of it for a couple years before you can even really harvest any of it. But I think I've got a pretty good start here. So this has been the most work I've ever put into an asparagus bed, and I sure hope that it lasts the 30 years or so that they say they will. So everything looks pretty healthy. I know it doesn't really show up too good on the camera, but everything's coming along good. So there's a quick garden update for you guys, and a doodle update wherever they are. There's one over there. We'll get back out here soon though, so if you're interested in firewood or gardening or wood sheds or outdoor boilers or any of that stuff, come on back. I'd appreciate it. Next video we're gonna do some splitting. I'm gonna fill up a couple IBC totes with some boiler wood or bundle wood, excuse me. That way I'll have some bundle baskets that I can just pull right in the garage and bundle right out of in the spring when the weather is kind of crappy still. I'll be able to get some work done, and it works out good having, you know, 100 or so bundles made ready to go for you. So there's the doodle. I don't know what she's got going on. We've got a lot of rabbits this year. I don't know what the rabbit crop must have been really good, but it's there's a ton of little bunnies running around the yard all the time. So that's also doesn't help the asparagus bed any. But either way, so if you're into this kind of stuff, guys, come on back, and thanks for stopping by. Have a good rest of the day. Take care.